Move this boat before I call the police," she screamed, her voice echoing across the calm lake. But the man standing before her didn't raise his voice, didn't even flinch. He just looked at her with quiet eyes that held more power than she could ever imagine. In a few moments, her entire world and her reputation would sink deeper than the water beneath that dock. The sun rested gently over Stillwater Lake, painting the sky in soft golds and blues. The air was calm, the water a mirror of peace until the sound of anger shattered it. A woman stood at the dock, arms crossed, her voice sharp enough to cut through the breeze. "Move this boat, it's blocking my view." Across from her stood a man, tall and calm, his plaid shirt fluttering slightly in the wind. His hands were steady, his expression unreadable. To the people watching from nearby cabins, it looked like another dispute between a homeowner and a stranger. But this man wasn't just another visitor, and this lake wasn't hers to command. His name was Elijah Brooks. To most, he looked like any quiet fisherman who came to the lake to escape noise. But to those who knew him, he was something else entirely. A decorated Army engineer who had spent years rebuilding war-torn villages overseas. When he came home, he wanted one thing, so he bought Stillwater Lake, every acre of it, using the money he earned from rebuilding lives others had forgotten. Elijah rarely spoke about what he had seen, the screams in the distance, the faces of children who no longer had homes. To him, the lake wasn't just property, it was healing. Each ripple on the surface reminded him that peace was something worth protecting. The woman, named Linda, didn't know any of that. She was the self-appointed head of the local homeowners association, a group more obsessed with control than community. For years, their fishing club had claimed the lake as their own. They boasted about their private property, never realizing that their boats floated on water that didn't belong to them. Linda's voice grew louder, her tone dripping with superiority. "This area is for residents only. You people can't just park your boat here." Her words hung in the air, sharp and heavy. A few neighbors stepped outside, curious but silent. No one spoke up. No one ever did. Elijah didn't move. He simply looked past her at the water, the trees, the reflection of clouds moving peacefully above. His silence made her angrier. She took a step closer, pointing at the dock. "Do you even have permission to be here?" He finally spoke, his voice calm and firm. "Permission?" he said softly. "I own it." For a moment, she laughed. But the laughter died quickly when a white SUV pulled up near the dock. Out stepped a man in a suit, holding a folder stamped with the town seal. He nodded toward Elijah, then faced Linda. "Ma'am," he said, flipping through papers, "Mr. Brooks here is the legal owner of Stillwater Lake and the surrounding properties, including this dock." The color drained from her face. The silence from the onlookers turned heavy, almost reverent. Elijah didn't gloat. He didn't raise his voice or demand an apology. He simply looked out over the water and said, "This lake isn't for control, it's for peace." A week later, notices arrived at every mailbox in the community. The fishing club's unauthorized use of the lake was revoked. The same dock that once echoed with entitlement now held quiet footsteps of those who came to reflect, not to rule. And though Linda never spoke to Elijah again, she often saw him sitting on his boat at dawn, sipping coffee as mist rose from the surface. She once told a neighbor, almost in a whisper, he didn't even have to raise his voice. And still, he changed everything. Elijah's calm had become legend, a reminder that true strength doesn't shout, it stands. That sometimes, silence can be the loudest justice of all. Respect, Elijah once said to a young boy fishing nearby, isn't about who talks the loudest, it's about who listens the longest. And from that day on, Stillwater Lake lived up to its name, still peaceful, and finally, free of noise. In a world that often confuses volume with power, Elijah's story reminds us that dignity doesn't need to shout, it just needs truth. Wherever you're watching from, tell us, have you ever seen someone stand tall through silence? Share your thoughts below, and don't forget to subscribe for more stories that honor quiet strength and hidden heroes.